Hi, I'm Danielle, and this is Chatter Out Loud, a podcast where I share thoughts and TV commentary on shows I like to watch. Now, before I start, I want to ask that you go ahead and like, follow, share, and subscribe. And on YouTube, where I upload my companion episode of my podcast, be sure to hit the notification bell. This way you can get a notification every time I post a new episode, and you won't miss out. It doesn't cost you anything to follow and subscribe, so go ahead and thank you in advance. All right, so welcome back. I thank you so much for joining me, and your presence is very much appreciated. In today's episode, I'm chatting about Survivor Season 42, Episode 3, and it was titled Go for the Gusto. And so let's get into it. All right, so after the last tribal council, we saw Mirai get voted out. We are now on the Taku tribe. In their shelter, and we see Marianne. She told her tribe that she had an extra vote. And I'm like, what is it with people sharing all their advantages in the game? I mean, people are sharing they have idols, they have an extra vote. I thought you were supposed to keep that to yourself or try to, leverage that, for your own game. But now if other people know, they're going to try to strategize against you, right? Like Daniel's doing in his tribe. Anyway, as that tribe goes around the island looking for idols, Marianne finds the three-way idol with the secret phrase, and she's sharing that with Omar. So she's sharing, I think that's because they were both walking around together. So she found it. It said beware on there, because remember that three-way idol, in order for it to be activated, each person that found the idol in each of the tribes, right, is a three-way idol, one for each tribe, and all three of them has to be found, and then they have to say that secret phrase in order for the idol to be activated. And the risk there, is that they do not get a vote until it's activated. So anyway, Marianne found the three-way idol for her tribe, and she shared that with Omar. Going to the Vadi tribe, we see Daniel he lost his shoes. He's going around searching for them, and the rest of the tribe makes note that Daniel loses everything, right? So we see him going around looking. Next, we see him attempt to strategize more, right? Because he wants to find out more details about Mike's three-way idol to backstab him, right? Remember, we saw that in the last episode. So Mike agrees to let him read it. Only after he reads it, he realized, oh man, even if he backstabs Mike, the idol still can be activated, right? So I guess that plan went away. Anyway, when Mike asked for the idol back, Daniel says, no, I gave it back to you. And they went back and forth. It come to find out Daniel lost it. When he took it to go read it, and wherever he was reading it on that part of the island, he had to backtrack his steps. And he went back to that spot and he found it. So, and remember last week when Mike, he couldn't remember where he placed the idol when he was sharing it with Daniel. I said, so between the two of them, we may never see that idol be played. All right, the immunity challenge. They had to retrieve a ladder at the bottom of the floor of the ocean and get the keys to the sandbags, and then land the sandbags. I think there were 5. Yeah, land each sandbag on a pedestal. And the first person or the first tribe to do that, they win a Survivor toolkit and fruit. The second place, the second place reward is a smaller toolkit and less fruit. So we see that the water is really, really choppy, right? And it's making it hard for them to keep their bearings, right? Because the more they swim, they keep getting pushed back. And so it was really hard. One observation I made is when all of the tribe members had to arrive at the ring, and we're talking about the Taku tribe, right? Part of the challenge is they all have to get to the ring before they can start retrieving the sandbags and the ladder at the bottom of the ocean floor. And before they can do that, all the tribe members have to go to the ring or meet at the ring. And so the observation I made was Omar yeah, the Taku tribe. Omar was struggling to get to the ring. He was the last one, and Jonathan just picked him up and threw him closer. That made me chuckle. I'm like, look at the strong man here. Jonathan was definitely the strong man for the Taku tribe, for sure. He was pulling people, throwing people, holding up the ladder. In comparison to the other two tribes, he made it look so easy. Then we see Lydia, right, screaming again. She's trying to encourage her tribe to finish. We watched the Vadi and the Aika tribe. They struggle to get back. They could not get that ladder back over their heads and get it to the shore. The water was too choppy. They were not making any progress. So production decided to stop them, told them to just bring the ladders, just drag them to the shore. Production was going to retrieve the keys for them, right? Because they had to use the ladders to go against that post. And someone had to climb up the ladder, get the keys to come back down. So production stopped them. They said, forget it. We'll get the keys. And then you guys pull the ladders to the shore and we'll resume the challenge from that point. Drea scores the winning beanbag for the Aika tribe, and they come in second, right? So the Taku tribe had no problem getting that ladder up there. Again, Jonathan was the strong man. He just held that ladder up there. They climbed up the ladder. He didn't even lean the ladder against the pole. He just held it up there. And Lindsay, I believe, just climbed up there, got the keys. Anyway, Taku tribe won. Aika tribe came in second. All right. And as part of the first place winner, Taku tribe, as the winner, they got to pick two people to go on another journey, right? And so they chose Chanel from the Vadi tribe, and then they chose Omar from their own tribe. And I guess that's a good choice, right? Because they can have visibility into what the journey was about, and So I think that was a smart move, right? Or maybe not, because Chanel. Yeah, we talk about that later. But maybe that was a good move. Okay. Back at the Vadi's shelter, because they were the losing tribe this week, they have to strategize to determine who will be the next target they're going to vote off. And remember, Mike doesn't have a vote. All right, so they start the discussions right away. They plan to vote Lydia out. That was Mike and Jenny. And then Lydia, Daniel, and Hai plan to vote out Jenny. And if you... Yeah, I said that right. Mike and Jenny decided to vote or plan to vote out Lydia, and Lydia, Daniel, and Hai plan to vote out Jenny. Only for Daniel to come back to Mike and Jenny and say, hey, I'm just keeping up a front. I'm telling them I'm with them, but he's going to vote with them, meaning he's going to vote with Mike and Jenny. And that means he would agree to vote out Lydia. So Daniel is clearly playing both sides of the tribe. I don't know how long he can sustain this. And after tonight, I don't think it's going to be much longer, right? All right, let me talk about the journey for a little bit. Chanel and Omar were on the journey. They talk about the strategy to keep each other safe. And that made me laugh so much because they both went in with this strategy. Okay, we don't want to lose votes. We don't want to screw the other person over. Let's just play it safe and keep each other safe, right? Not knowing what was ahead of them, right? And of course, it's the protect your vote or risk your vote. So they both faced it. Now, it was funny because they both just said, we don't want to, jeopardize each other's vote. Let's make sure we do things safe. And both of them had the same action in the end. In that moment, didn't we know, like when we saw them planning beforehand, didn't we all know temptation is very real? And it would not hold up as soon as they saw what this advantage potentially could be, right? So they both read what comes with protecting your vote and risking the vote. If both people choose to protect their vote, nothing changes. Everything remains the same. If both people choose to risk their vote, each player loses their vote. And if there's a mix, the person who said risk their vote gets 2 votes. So they both went in with the mentality, yeah, let's keep each other safe. let's play it safe. Let's not screw each other over. Only for them both to go in to say, I'm playing to win, and they both selected risk your vote with the thought that the other one would choose to protect the vote, right? So they would have the upper hand. Like, I'm picking risk the vote. I know that other person's gonna pick the protect, so I'm gonna get 2 votes. And they both screwed each other over because they both picked risk your vote, and now as a result of them both choosing risk your vote, they each lost their vote at tribal council. And this was very important for Chanel tonight because she didn't have a chance to vote, right? So going into tribal council, Chanel now has no vote. And I think she only shared that with Daniel. Yeah. All right, so back at the Vadi's shelter, Daniel is also telling Lydia not to worry. Remember, he's playing both sides of the tribe now. Chanel comes back from the journey. The first person she hits is, or sees and talks to, is Daniel. Daniel said, we were talking, and Lydia said, I guess Daniel asked her, like, what's going on? Lydia said, we have to, or excuse me, not Lydia. Chanel said, we have to get Lydia out. It was unbelievable. I think Chanel pushed a little too hard when they joined the rest of the tribe members, and that caught High's attention. That was the first time it caught his attention, right? Because she was like, girls vote one way, boys vote another way. And High was like, well, why are we doing this? Because of what? And she was talking about, because to draw the rock or something like that. But it was suspicious. It was, High picked up on that. So he's like, well, I don't know. And the intention behind Chanel telling, like, boys do this way, girls do this way, is because they wanted to split the vote and have that backup just in case. Because Chanel lost her vote. So they're going in with Mike doesn't have a vote. I don't think Chanel knows that. Or maybe she does. I know Daniel knows for sure. And now Chanel doesn't have a vote. So the rest of the votes lie between, let me see here, Daniel, Jenny, High, Lydia. So there's only 4 votes going in now because Chanel lost her vote and Mike lost his vote from the 3-way idol. So Chanel is saying, girls vote out, I think she said Jenny, right? So that would be Jenny, Lydia, and High. And she says girls vote out something. Anyway, I have to look at that again. I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, they were trying to split the votes. So they would definitely have either Jenny or what if anything ever happened, if he played the idol, then Mike would be able to, would be the backup. So that's how they were trying to split the votes. In the end, it didn't work out. All right, so they get to the tribal council. Jeff talks to the tribe to get their thoughts and insight into their strategy on who is likely to be targeted to vote out. We see this every week. Daniel is talking too much and he's trying to deflect. And I'm telling you, people see through this. I knew he cannot sustain this at all. And people see through it, especially High now, right? I think I saw High watch Chanel mouth Lydia to Daniel, like vote out Lydia. I'm thinking that. I'm going to have to go rewatch the episode, but I'm almost certain I saw Chanel mouth Lydia, and I think High saw that when she said that to Daniel. All right, and remember, Daniel's trying to play both sides, right? He's saying he's with Mike and Jenny, and then he's also saying he's with Chanel and Lydia. With all of this planning, of course, something went wrong, right? With all of let's vote this way, and 2 vote here, and the girls vote this way, boys vote that way, and all that. All this planning wound up the votes being a tie between Lydia and Jenny. And so they had to re-vote, right? The second vote, another tie. And mind you, with the first vote, now the whole tribe is aware that there were only 4 votes. And so High looked confused. And they're like, people trying to figure out, why are there only 4 votes? When there was a tie and they had to re-vote again, then there were only 2 votes, right? Because out of the 4 votes, only 2 of those people can vote, because the 2 people, basically the only people who were left to vote were High and Daniel. Because remember, Chanel lost her vote with the risk your vote journey. And Mike lost his vote with the 3 three-way idol. So the only people left to vote were Hai and Daniel, and they had to reveal that they didn't have to reveal exactly why they lost their vote, but they had to reveal that they did not vote. So that's going to be interesting conversation later down the road, I'm sure. But anyway, we have the 2 votes, and if Jeff said that they had to, since it was a second tie, now the rest of them have to decide a unanimous vote on who to vote out. And if they did not come to an agreement, Lydia and Jenny will automatically be safe, and then the 4 of them will have to draw rocks. And if you pick the black rock, I think, or the red rock or whatever, one person will go home based on drawing rocks. So it was just pretty interesting watching them all play from that moment on. And in this moment, I thought Daniel is such a slime ball. He is. He's playing the game, but it was so messed up. He threw Chanel under the bus. It just was so messed up. He's like, now I feel pressured from Chanel, and Chanel told me. And I'm like, oh, man, that's so messed up. And then he was like throwing her out there like, who do you want to vote for, Chanel? And I'll vote what you want me to do. Completely deflecting. I mean, it was kind of great on how he deflected and threw Chanel under the bus. It was great on how he did that, but I think he hurt his own game too, because people see this nonsense now, and he now has lost an ally in Chanel, right? So anyway, he stood his ground. He solidified his alliance with Lydia, because he says, I am not changing my vote, and I am willing to draw rocks. I'm not doing that. I'm not losing the number. No. And he was right to do that. And that was good strategy and good gameplay, because Daniel wound up giving in, and they wound up voting Jenny out. So the tribe is definitely split. I know Hai and Lydia are solidified as an ally or an alliance for sure, right? Based on what just happened in tribal council. Then we have Mike and Chanel, right? Mike trusted Daniel, but after this, wow, right? Because it was supposed to be Mike, Jenny, and Daniel. And when we get back, we'll see how that'll fall apart. And then Chanel was supposed to be aligned with Hai and Lydia, right? And Chanel is now thrown under the bus by Daniel, saying, hey, she told me to get rid of Lydia. So this is a mess. The only people that are aligned in that tribe right now are Hai and Lydia. And the rest of them, it's just going to fall apart. Jenny has gone home. Now we no longer have the brains. So it's going to be interesting to watch. You have to tell me what you thought of the episode. All right, leave a comment and let me know. I'll be back next week with another recap, and we'll see where this picks up, right? And we'll go from there. All right, and that's all I have. So be sure to come back and give me a listen. I'd love for you to like, share, follow, and subscribe. You can also leave me a comment, right? Leave me a message. If you're listening to the podcast, there's a link to leave me a message right on that landing platform, or the landing area. So be sure to check that out. All right. My name is Danielle, and you're listening to my podcast, Chatter Out Loud. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, I appreciate your support. And that's all I have. Thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.